Hey everyone, welcome to another speed build. So today I have firmly gone back into my fantasy comfort zone and built this. It's actually pretty large. It's a Viking family home, or fantasy inspired Viking family home. I used this picture I found on Pinterest. I've had it in my saved pins for months and never really got around to doing anything with it, and I think it was just because there's so much detail on it and so much detail that I wanted to put into it that I've just kind of felt a little bit lazy not really wanted to put in the effort, but you know, I have wanted to do it for quite a while, so I thought, when is a better time than now just to do it? So that is what I have done. So it's actually turned out quite a lot bigger. I originally started planning it out on, I think it was like a 20 by 30 lot, and quickly realized that what I wanted to do would just wouldn't fit. So I ended up moving it to this lot. I don't remember what it's called because I've built so many things, whether this is actually called Forest Hideaway or whether that's just something that I've called one of my other builds and it's just kept the lot name. I don't know, but anyway, it's one of the 30 by 40 lots in Granite Falls, and it actually turned out to be a really good lot for this build because from the front of the house it looks like it's kind of on the water if you squint slightly and use your imagination. I've put quite a lot of water underneath this build, so it kind of looks like it's, you know, joining onto the river just a little bit, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to be more of like a fishing home or like a fisherman's house, so I really wanted it to be on the water, but building it in Sulani didn't really fit right. That is actually where I built my Viking longboat. I will link it in the description if you haven't seen it. It's just a quick build. I think I did it for a challenge, and I think I set it as a museum lot type because I didn't really know what else to set it as, and it's pretty small in terms of like actual space, so it's not like a house or anything but it kind of fits in with the theme of this build. So if you're interested, you will find it on my channel somewhere. I'll link it down below. But anyway, I didn't really know what to do with the roof decorations initially and then I was looking through Pinterest and found a couple of other images from the game World of Warcraft that has quite a big like emphasis on detail in a lot of their buildings, and a lot of the roofing in like I mean, I don't play it, so I'm probably going to get this completely wrong, but I think there's like a Viking area, like a Viking inspired area in the game somewhere, and a lot of the buildings have this really intricate like bracing detail on the roof, which I absolutely loved. So I wanted to try and recreate a little bit of that in this. If I can find a picture, I will put it here for you, but the only thing that I found that I really wanted to include that I couldn't was the purple roofing, because in that game they have really nice purple roofing and I couldn't get that. And the one from I think it's Jungle Adventure maybe, that has like a sort of purple roof, it just didn't look right. So I ended up going with this green one from the base game. To me, it kind of looked a little bit like dragon scales. It's probably not the most attractive color because it kind of looks like mushy peas, but I think it looks okay. So once I've done all like the details, I definitely prefer how it looks. But this little section in here that I was just doing is where I end up putting a I think it's a boat from Island Living, and it fits quite nicely. I think I did have to size it down because it was just a little bit big, but I do really like how it looks in the end. So right now I am working on the roofing detail, the bracing, and I basically just use these wooden poles from the base game live edit menu, and then for the metal details I use a wall decoration from Discover University. I wanted something that kind of looked like a shield, but I didn't know what else to use. I think on my Viking ship I did use tables, but because, you know, it would have stuck right through into the rest of the build if I had used the tables, so I thought this, you know, shield wall decoration thingy would probably look a little bit better. So I don't include all of what I did with the roofing in the video. I include this one section here just so you can see exactly what I did. And then I cut the rest of it out because it literally took me like 5 hours. So trying to get it all right and get it to lay right and, you know, not stick through into the rooms and things. So I do cut in just a minute to what it looks like with, you know, the whole roofing done, but I do really like the way that it looks, and I'm pretty proud of this one. I do quite a lot with the tool mod actually in this build. Inside I have a it's like a buffet table sort of situation that I was inspired by Phantasms. I'll also link the video that I was inspired by for that in the description too if you would like to have a look. But it's basically just a table full of food. I was trying to do a little bit of research and figure out, you know, what exactly they had in these long houses historically, and to be honest, there wasn't actually that much. So I am actually creating a little roofing detail here at the moment. This is the first thing that I did before I even did the whole build, so it does look like I know what I'm doing because I know exactly what I'm doing because I did it before. But it's basically just a couple of items. This light to me kind of looks a little bit like a dragon egg, and it's from the Dine Out pack. There's a couple of these metal wall details from Get to Work, the rain chain thingy from Snowy Escape, and then the little grey block is like a sanding block that comes in the debug menu from the woodworking table, and I think it looks really cool. It looks really cool together. So I basically just saved the room and then just, you know, dumped it around the build everywhere that I thought it looked good. So it's pretty much all over, but I only show you this one bit because like I said, it took me just a little bit of time to do. So I'm not gonna force you to sit through all of that, but yeah, I am really pleased with how it looks, so hopefully you like it too. So anyway, back to what I was saying about researching what was inside these long houses. This is the picture that I found that I thought probably was the most historically accurate, because most of the other pictures I found were from video games, or they were like drawn by animators and things, so I wasn't sure whether I could really go by them. Yeah, so this is what it looks like in the end, and I realized that I wanted to put some antlers on the roofing. So I used these little pieces of driftwood and this wall decoration from Journey to 2. Now I know that mythosaurs don't actually have antlers, for anyone that is a Star Wars fan. I'm sorry, but I didn't know what else to use because I wanted a skull. And the other one I could have used, I guess, could have been the dinosaur one, but I just didn't really like the look of it, so I thought that one was good. So I'm clearly just, you know, sidetracked on what I was actually talking about. But anyway, this is the buffet table that I mentioned that I got inspiration from Phantasms for. And when I was researching on, you know, the whole kitchen situation, they didn't actually have a kitchen, as you would probably imagine. So they just had these like giant tables full of food, and then they would just sit on benches and things. So, you know, it didn't make sense to include a kitchen, but for it to actually work in The Sims, I did include a kitchen. So this little table here is basically just for, you know, visual effects, just to make it look cool. But I am really pleased with how it looks, so I hope you like it. These little stones that I've just put in this giant stew pot are a collectible from the base game, I think, called Baconite. And I was so happy when I found it, because I was thinking, like, what can I put in this giant pot to make it look like meat? And I've got the fish that I can put there, but I wanted to include something else too. And I was looking and I was like, oh, I don't really know what I can use that kind of looks like meat, but also that I can sit on this table as a prop decoration that doesn't spoil and have stinky gas clouds after 5 minutes of playing, because nobody wants that. So I was trying to find different things that I could use and ended up finding this little gemstone, which I have sized up a couple times there, but it's called baconite and it looks exactly how I wanted it to. So you kind of just have to use your imagination a lot of the time. But I think it looks really cool. So yeah, like I said, I did include a kitchen just so that it works with the game, but I've tried to make it look as I can't really say it's historically or timely accurate because they didn't have kitchens, but I've tried to make it look like it would fit in with the build at least. So hopefully you can overlook that small detail. The same with the bathroom, actually. They didn't have bathrooms. They had wells and latrines, so I didn't really know what to do with that. I have included the well from the prop decorations from what's that pack called? Get Famous, that one. I've included the well from that one, and then I have put a little kind of outhouse that's over the back of this buffet table outside, so you get to it by going through the kitchen out the back, and it's basically just like a little toilet with a sink in it. I've tried to decorate it to make it look interesting, but it is literally just an outhouse. And then upstairs I've changed one of the rooms, or changed it. That was exactly how I decorated it in the first place, so I didn't change it from anything, but I've made it into like a communal dressing area. So as you come up the ladder from this room, you go into I think, is it in this room? I might actually have moved the ladder. I don't remember. You'll see when I go upstairs, but one of the ladders goes into a bedroom and the other one, I think actually both of them go into bedrooms. I don't know, you'll see when we go upstairs. But there's like a communal dressing bathing area with a big fireplace, and I've put a bathtub in there so your Sims can still shower. Well, shower, they can bathe. And there's like a couple sinks, and I've put a big mirror and a chest of drawers and things like that in there, so all of their functions, all their needs and everything are all taken care of, but the layout isn't exactly how I would have wanted it, but it's what I could do with making it as accurate as possible, whilst also making it playable. So back to this table, these leaves that I am about to try and squish onto this table, they didn't exactly work how I wanted them to. There was quite a lot of gaps underneath the items that I wanted to get rid of, but the leaves were just a little bit too big, and as they're normal size they were too small. And I later found that one of the like messy food decoration pieces that we got with City Living, one of them is a rug piece, and the other one I think comes in the miscellaneous decoration category. I can't speak today. One of those things, and it snaps to the table, so I thought that was really good. So I have put that, and it kind of just looks like food mess, which is perfect for what I wanted. Up on this kind of chimney area, in the original picture photo that I was taking inspiration from, I think there was a banner or a flag or something up here, so I wanted to put one up there too because I really liked the way that it looked. And then on the back wall of this table, I was really kind of stumped as to what to do with it, because it was just this giant plain wall and I didn't know what to put up there. So I end up putting I think I used these little these things from Cottage Living, and then put some flags from Journey to Batu over the top of them, and I really like the way that it looks. I think it looks really cool. I would have loved one that matched the banner that I'd put outside on the chimney, but I couldn't really find one that matched. This one had the same sort of colours, so I thought that was better than nothing. So in here is the little kitchen area. I didn't really know what to do decoration wise in here either, since, you know, they wouldn't actually have kitchens, so I was kind of just going off of my own imagination in this one. So I've just basically put everything that they needed in here, and then took some of the decorations from the buffet table and kind of recreated them in this little corner area in the kitchen. So there's like a big pot and a couple of bowls and things that have got bits of food in that I thought looked okay. They looked like they fit at least. I've used one of the candles from the paranormal stuff. I know they do melt down, which is good and bad at the same time because I want them to stay like that, but I like the fact that they do actually melt down, which is, you know, accurate. That's what candles do. But yeah, anyway, and then I've used a couple of other things that I actually really like the look of. I've used the Carver cup, which I think looks a little bit like a cup that they would use made of wood. I think they probably would have used like horn, but you know, we don't have anything like that, so the Carver cup will do. And then I've used the Carver bowl and put this kind of giant thing, I think it's from Jungle Adventure, and it's like one of the like dig areas that you can get collectibles from, but I thought it kind of looked a little bit like trail mix or grain or something, so I've used that. I think it looks really cool. And there was something else that I was going to mention that I have completely forgotten now too. Nope, it's gone. Anyway, moving into the bedroom, I'll probably remember what it is in a minute and just completely, you know, sidetrack. But once I'm kind of halfway through the bedroom, I end up moving to the landscaping because I was getting a little bit tired of doing furnishings. I'm not really someone who enjoys doing like interior decorating that much. As much as, you know, I don't know, I have moments that I really enjoy doing it, like the buffet table. I absolutely loved doing that, and I just added and added and added to it until there was like no room left. But then there's other rooms that I'm like, oh, I don't really want to furnish in here. I wish there was like an auto furnish button. I could just, you know, copy and paste from something else that I did. But this bedroom, I really like the way that this turned out. It's quite dark in here, and I don't know, I really like the way that it is for some reason. It's just, I don't know, I just like it. I put a couple of these decorations from my wedding stories out the front too. I'm really glad that we actually got those, because the ones from Get Together have like that roof piece on the top of it, which I do like when you're, you know, doing like a Tudor style or like that sort of inspired build. But when you just want wood, like just for the fireplace, just a stack of wood, I don't really want the roof on it. So I do really like that we now have something like that. So yeah, like I said, I then just completely switch up to doing the landscaping. I was just bored of doing the inside. Wanted to do the outside, I guess. I literally jump all over the place in this build, so I'm sorry if that bothered you, but I have been having trouble with building the last couple of weeks. Hated everything that I was doing, so when I actually realized that I was enjoying this one, I was like, I don't really care whether I'm doing it, you know, systematically, is that the word? Like, you know, in order so that it makes sense. I was just like, no, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, what makes me happy and what I feel like doing at the time, because otherwise I'm gonna get halfway through like I have done with the last 3 that I've tried and just give up. So yeah, sorry, but it made me happy to do it this way, so that's why I've done it this way. Anyway, this is the like giant pond thingy. I've used these thingies. I keep saying thingy, that's obviously my favorite word of the day. These items from Island Living, they're part of the shipwreck, and I don't think I've ever used them before, but I do really like the way that they look in this. I've served a couple of them down, so it kind of looks a bit like, well, I guess a shipwreck, because that's what it is. But I wanted it to, you know, look like there was bits of boat that they'd been building at some point, and you know, they just have scrapped it, or they've been ruined in a storm or something, and you know, they're just like a bit of wreckage that there's just been left over and dumped there. I don't really like the little floaty boy thingies. They don't really fit, but I can't get rid of them. So hopefully you can overlook that, but I think they look really cool nonetheless. I do wish that they came in different swatches, just so that I could have like a dark wood instead of this blue. But I still think it looks good. And like I said, if you look from the front and kind of squint and use your imagination, it does look like it's part of the river behind it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I am now moving on to kind of the landscaping. I'm doing the ivy from Discover University. I really like this. I'm not sure, I haven't actually taken any of the screenshots as I'm doing the voiceover, so I don't know if they're gonna stay, because some of them change with the season. They change to like a really nice like reddy brown, and some of them don't change color with the season, so they stay this really bright vibrant green. And I am pinning my hopes on putting the screenshot up of this build in the snow. So if there's no snow in the screenshot or any of the thumbnails or anything, then it didn't work. But I'm, you know, that's what my hope is at the moment, is that I can put it with a little bit of snow on it and it will look good, and you know, the landscaping won't look disastrous. But we will see. And I guess you will see in like a couple minutes when we get to the screenshots. But anyway, moving on. Well, not quite yet actually, I've got a little bit more landscaping to do. What am I talking about? But yeah, I didn't really know what to do with the landscaping, so I just did what I normally do and just chucked a whole bunch of different plants down and hoped for the best. I've used the water, can you class it as a water swatch? I don't know, but I think it's like the one that's meant to be gross, like the death and decay kind of one, but I think it looks the most realistic. So especially considering the season that I kind of want to put it in, that some of the leaves will have blown into the water, some of the sticks off the trees blown into the water, and if you think about it, Vikings aren't really going to rake their ponds, are they? They're not really going to care. So I thought it looked probably the most appropriate. I've tried to put a bunch of flowers down that I could see in the world around the lot, but I don't know. The thing that I do with my landscaping is, to be honest, with all of my builds, not just the landscaping, everything, I use the most amount of space that I possibly can on each lot, which is all well and good, but then if you look at the world around it, there's so much kind of empty space that it ends up looking a little bit strange. And I do wish that we had the opportunity or the option maybe to, even if it was just the terrain paint, to end up painting on like the land outside the lot. I think that would at least make blending it a little bit easier. But anyway, I've tried not to have like just a complete cut off with the terrain paint, but you never know until you place it down. And like I said, I wanted it under snow, so you're not going to see it anyway. But we have gone back inside now. Like I said, jump all over the place with this one, but I do really like this bedroom. I don't add a whole bunch to it, so this is basically it. This is the lounge room. Traditionally, historically they wouldn't have lounge rooms. So going back to what I was talking about 10 minutes ago about the pictures that I found that I wanted to kind of go off of. The longhouses, they were obviously just one straight long kind of barn style house. They didn't have chimneys, they just had holes in the roof, so all of the, you know, hot air and the smoke and everything just kind of left out the hole. And they would sleep on the like outsides of the longhouse, kind of where I've put the benches in this one. There would be beds along the side, and then they'd have like a giant fire pit sort of thing in the middle, and then their animals would also sleep in the longhouses with them right at the back, so they kind of have like a barn sort of thing along the back wall. Some of the pictures I found had like a loft area, but I don't know whether they were, you know, like artistic recreations that people have just imagined, like, oh well, they need a little bit more space, so I'm gonna, you know, chuck a barn loft in there and that'll do. I don't know, but yeah, this is, you know, completely not historically accurate at all. It's fantasy inspired. It's my kind of own idea of what I wanted it to look like, whilst also making it playable in the game. So if you did want to play with Viking Sims, then at least all of their needs are going to be met in this house. But this, yeah, like I said, this is a little lounge room. I've put a desk in there, but there aren't any electronics, so I'm pretty sure everything in this house is all off the grid compatible, so it should work with that lot challenge. So up here is like the dressing area that I mentioned. So I've put this little bathtub near the fireplace, and I've put this divider here because there's two doors that lead into this room. One of them is from like a walkway that leads to another bedroom, and then the ladder that actually leads from like the living area, I put a like child's bedroom at the top of it. I remember now. It's kind of like a, I don't know, there's 3 beds in there. I've put 2 single beds and a toddler bed in there, so it's kind of like a big child's room. So I think I mentioned it, you can have 7 Sims in this house. There's 2 double beds, 2 single beds and a toddler bed, so quite a lot of Sims can live in this house if you wanted them to. But, you know, I wanted to include as many as possible since, you know, they would all live in the same house together. These baskets on this dresser, I've put some wool in. I think it's the cream and like the yellow or the beige or something. I don't really know what I thought that I could use them for, but I thought they looked really nice as decoration without them being like bottles. And I figured maybe they were like bath salts or herbs or something that they would use, because I think their soap was made of like animal fat and things, which sounds really gross. So I thought they would probably also use different herbs and flowers to make their bath water smell decent. I mean, they probably washed in the river, so I'm probably thinking way too much into it, but you know, for my own sanity, I thought, you know, they probably have some nice like lavender and goat's milk bath maybe. No, they definitely wouldn't do that, but you know, one can hope. So I done the same thing with the carver bowl and the like dirt thing up in the other bedroom, because you know, sometimes you need a snack in the night, and that's kind of what I had in mind for this one. So this is the child toddler room. I've just kind of put a whole bunch of toys up here, things that I thought probably, I mean, I wanted them to have something at least, so I've just tried not to put any, you know, electronics up here. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video now, so I really hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the screenshot. So this is on the gallery under my ID AriaFaeYT, and you can also find the tray files on Tumblr, so everything is linked in the description below. So yeah, thank you again, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.
Sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see all blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where I to pass the line. Heart makes no sound. I'll find validity on